She told me she was lonely. I believed her. It was a Tuesday night, one of those quiet, suffocating ones when the air itself feels suspicious. I was coming home late from another double shift, my hands still shaking from exhaustion, when I saw the half-packed suitcase by the door. Her suitcase. Not hidden, not open, just waiting. She came out of the bedroom wearing one of my shirts, too large for her, sleeves swallowed her hands. She smiled, said she was just thinking of leaving for a few days, said she needed space. I nodded, pretending it didn't feel like a blade pressed against my throat. "Are we okay?" I asked. She said, "I just feel alone." Then she kissed my cheek, soft, distant, like a farewell disguised as affection. That night I couldn't sleep. The house breathed differently. Every sound was a lie. Every shadow whispered something I didn't want to hear. When she left the next morning, I watched her drive away and realized she hadn't packed her toothbrush. She started coming home later. Work, she said. Overtime. I wanted to believe her, so I worked harder, stayed longer at the office, thinking maybe if I provided more, she'd feel less lonely. But the harder I tried, the more distant she became. Her laughter changed first, softer, restrained, as if meant for someone else's ears. Then her phone habits, the way she'd tilt the screen away when I passed by, the way her smile never reached her eyes anymore. One evening, her best friend, Lily, dropped by. She seemed nervous, too talkative. I asked where my wife was, and she slipped. She's been living with him for weeks. The words didn't hit like thunder. They landed quietly, precisely. Weeks. Living with him. I didn't ask who him was. I didn't have to. I just nodded, thanked her, and poured myself a drink I didn't taste. When Lily left, I sat in silence, staring at the wall where our wedding photo once hung. I had taken it down 2 days ago, for no reason I could name. Now I knew why. The next few days became a study in calm. She still called, still said she was working late. I still asked how her day was, still told her I loved her. My tone never changed, neither did hers. But I began documenting everything: bank records, GPS history, social media activity. I didn't want confrontation. I wanted certainty. One evening, I drove to the address her location pinged from. A quiet suburban street 15 minutes away. A white house with a blue door. 2 cars in the driveway, one of them hers. The curtains were open. I didn't get out of the car. I didn't need to. She came to the window, laughing. Someone else's arm draped over her shoulder. I didn't feel rage, just a hollow, expanding silence. The next morning, I went to work as usual. Smiled when colleagues asked about her, wrote reports, answered calls. But beneath the surface, I was dissecting every lie she'd ever told me, cataloging them like evidence. It wasn't obsession, it was control. By the end of the week, I had everything. Proof of her new address, pictures, dates, messages. The truth wasn't heavy, it was clean, surgical. I printed everything and sealed it in an envelope. She came home that Sunday, as if nothing had happened. A smile, a kiss on my cheek. "I missed you," she said. I handed her the envelope. No words, just silence. She opened it slowly, confusion fading into terror as she flipped through the photos, the receipts, the screenshots. Her hands trembled. "Where did you—" "I work in analysis," I said calmly. "Pattern recognition." She sat down on the couch, face pale, mouth open but no sound coming out. "I was going to tell you," she whispered. I nodded once. "But you didn't." I watched her break, not loudly, but quietly, like glass cracking beneath pressure. She reached for me. I stepped back. There was no anger left to give, only understanding. The next day I called her parents, told them she needed a place to stay. Then I called our landlord, asked to remove her name from the lease. Finally, I left a small box on the kitchen counter, her ring, her keys, her lies, all in one place. When she came home that night, The house was empty except for the note on the table. You said you were lonely. I just gave you what you wanted. I didn't wait to see her reaction. I didn't need to. Revenge doesn't always scream. It sometimes just walks away. I drove to the White House, parked outside, watched as the lights flickered inside, her silhouette moving back and forth in frantic confusion. Then another light turned off, and she stepped outside, alone. I waited until she saw me. Our eyes met through the windshield. She froze. I smiled, not out of joy, out of finality. Then I drove away. It's strange, the silence that follows truth. It doesn't echo, it just settles. People think heartbreak feels like chaos. It doesn't. It feels like order, like everything finally falling exactly where it belongs. I moved out 2 days later, changed my number, closed the account we shared. She called once from an unknown number. I let it ring. I used to wonder if I wasn't enough. Now I realize she wasn't capable of wanting enough. Love isn't about filling someone's emptiness. It's about not being consumed by it. So I let her drown in the loneliness she claimed to feel. And for the first time in years, I slept peacefully in the house that finally felt like mine. Final line. She said she was lonely. Now she finally is.